At a grocery store, you can get mushrooms for $6 a pound, but they could be up to 14 days old. Here at the farmer's market, you can get these mushrooms for the same price. They were handpicked today. While relocating may cut costs for Sears, it may also cut ties with Illinois government officials that urge the company to keep their headquarters in Chicago. Blandon believes young lawyers with a devotion to practice will ultimately find work and success. Federal government officials have ordered Chicago to clean up the Chicago River enough for swimmers. But local residents say it doesn't matter how clean the river will get, they'll never take a dip. And more groups are doing their own thing, making it difficult for activists to unite everyone. While many residents choose to travel outside the city limits for a getaway, others opt for a staycation right here in Chicago. While the Blue Demons have two objectives this season, winning the World Series and conquering the Big East Championship, some players have a personal goal of their own. Lack of knowledge or interest may have kept many students away from the polls, but those who did vote had strong feelings for or against Rahm Emanuel. Chicagoans showed their support for immigration reform at the annual May Day rally. Among thousands that protested immigration restrictions were young adults, painting a new face for immigration activists.
So I think for students to have a voice and to be proactive in these demonstrations and to be proactive on campus and really create a sense of community and dynamism as youth is of the utmost importance and can garner huge results in the society.
Illinois students have grown up with a strong Hispanic presence in the classroom. 1 in 5 students in the Illinois school system is Latino. Most of those students are documented, but that still gives young people a connection to immigration reform.
No, it's my first event. It's my first time going to a May Day event, and my dad's a worker. I got immigrant friends, so I'm just here to stick up for them.
Now that there's more youth involvement in immigration change, more organizations are being formed, and more groups are doing their own thing, making it difficult for activists to unite everyone.
So everybody's doing something, which is good, and I can appreciate that everybody is moving or trying to do something. But on the other hand, nobody's together doing the same thing. I don't think that's positive at all.
Mujica is one of the organizers for the May Day rally, and while attendance seemed to be low this year, the idea of stopping the annual event hasn't crossed his or young activists' minds.
I think it's very important for students to become involved because students actually have a very pivotal societal role as growing intellectuals, as people who are educated.
The Illinois DREAM Act is moving through Springfield. The act would allow undocumented immigrants the chance to attend private universities. While it isn't a law yet, immigration activists still see this as a small victory for reform. From Pilsen, I'm Kristen Aguirre for Good Day to Paul.
Thank you, Chicago, for this humbling victory. All I can say, you sure know how to make a guy feel at home.
DePaul's Lincoln Park campus was surrounded by campaign signs on election morning, but even with constant reminders, turnout among DePaul students was low.
Mostly I noticed they were mostly residents from this area, but I didn't really see that many students.
McGrath Arena was a polling precinct located right on campus, but polling workers say only 6 people voted there all day.
Maybe the students don't really know who the candidates are. They haven't done the research. I know, like, my parents make me do the research, especially now that I'm registered, and my mom does her research, so.
I just don't know anything about any of the candidates. I haven't heard one thing about any of them. I don't even think I know any of their names.
A lack of knowledge may have kept many students away from the polls, but those who did vote had strong feelings for or against Rahm Emanuel.
He's more upfront. He's willing to tell you things that you don't want to hear. He's like I say, he's more upfront, and he'll get things done, I think.
And I think Rahm Emanuel is a little out of touch with Chicago. I think he's got his head a little bit in Washington and Hollywood, which might not be a bad thing. You know, that might not be a horrible thing, but I wanted Chicago guys.
I don't have anything personally against Rahm, but I just think that it's more a celebrity vote, sort of, for a lot of people, and I just think that Val has some pretty good ideas, and I think, you know, he deserves a chance. So.
Turnout played a huge role in the election. Just 43% of Chicagoans voted, one of the lowest totals in history.
Municipal elections are important. I mean, our mayor is going to make a big impact in our lives, whether we think so or not.
Oh, we did it for our city. We did it for our city.
And now Emmanuel will have to get to work on a big to-do list for all of Chicago. From the Lincoln Park campus, I'm Kristen Aguirre for Good Day DePaul. Law school grads are learning the hard way that their chosen profession is no longer recession-proof.
Law firms are not immune to the cycles of the economy. They suffer the exact same ups and downs that the rest of the economy does. So if people are not buying, making, building things or engaging in transactions, then they don't need lawyers.
In a recent study done by Northwestern Law, since 2008, almost 15,000 attorney legal staff jobs have been cut, only making it more competitive for lawyers in the job market.
You hear that phrase, I mean, someone always needs a lawyer, but when you don't have money, I guess that's not the case.
John Walls will be sworn into the Illinois State Bar May 5th. He'll be among thousands of new lawyers going for fewer jobs this summer.
I'm in the top 15% of my class, and I don't have a job whatsoever. So, I mean, just knowing my personal experience and other friends, it's completely different.
While job prospects may seem dim for recent law school grads, Blandon believes young lawyers with a devotion to practice will ultimately find work and success.
There's always a value for good lawyers. There's always a role for young lawyers who come out that are hungry, that have passion, that want to accomplish something.
I think I would work at a restaurant or wait tables, something like that, until I could find some kind of a legal job that I could hopefully work my way up into an attorney's position.
A report by the Law School Admission Council says applications are down almost 12%, giving recent grads hope that being patient will eventually pay off. From the Loop campus, I'm Kristen Aguirre for Good Day DePaul. The Blue Demons' historic season seemed to be out of a fairy tale this year, but unlike most, it didn't have a happy ending, with DePaul losing to Duke in the Sweet 16. But while some fans may be disappointed, Coach Doug Bruno is anything but.
The group has given this coach so many favorite moments that they're just overwhelming. I mean, beating Stanford, the #2 team in the nation, that's a moment that I think our players will never be able to forget.
DePaul made several unforgettable moments this year, with their highest ranking in the program's history at 7th, finishing 2nd in the Big East, and ultimately wrapping up the season in 8th place.
These are all, they're not just necessarily moments, but they're achievements and accomplishments that I think our players are going to remember forever.
Sophomore Anna Martin says she knew this season was going to be memorable from the beginning.
We knew this year was going to be special if we worked hard, and we had a lot of leadership, a lot of seniors, and we were a veteran team. So we were just so excited, and we wish we would have gone a little bit farther, but we were glad from what we did.
While the loss to Duke was disappointing, Martin still feels proud of their effort.
I don't really think there's anything else we could have done. It was frustrating that we lost to Duke in the Sweet 16, and we had some injuries at the time. I think that could have helped, but stuff happens.
For the Blue Demons fans, this was an amazing year, climaxing with a send-off rally right before the team headed off to the Sweet 16. But now it's time to look ahead to next year.
Well, we're already starting to get into our spring workouts and prepare for next season, and we just hope that what we did last year is the standard from now on at DePaul, and that we can just go up from there.
The bar has now been set very high for DePaul women's basketball, but Coach Bruno and his team believe they have all the ingredients for another great season. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Kristen Aguirre.